Hi, my name is Alejandro with Gengras, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Today we're going to go ahead and do a walk around on our Grand Cherokee L Summit. So first thing I want to show you, if you come over here, with the Summit you're going to get Macintosh speakers, okay? So first thing you notice here is you do have a real nice silver silhouette right here. Once the vehicle is on, you'll have the words Macintosh actually light up on the screen here, which I'll show you later. So first things first, I want us to take a look at the second row. So this being a Summit, you do get the Napa quilted interior. Easiest way to see that is by the quilted stitching on the bolsters. Okay, they do use a copper color for that, really bring it out from the black interior. In this third row, again, because it is a Summit, you do get a center console for the captain's chairs, and you also get your cup holders right here in the middle as well. Okay, so biggest thing was the third row is eventually we're gonna have people in the third seat. Okay. In a Summit, in any vehicle, I don't want people stepping over my seats. So the way we're going to eliminate that is right where my hand is here, I flip this up, and you actually get a tilt inside feature on the seat. Okay, that way someone can get to the third row without having to crawl over your nice quilted leather seats, right? If I go ahead and set this back down, my favorite part about this is if you do have someone taller in the second row, right in the front here, there's a bar where I can slide the seat forward, I can slide the seat backwards. This handle here can be used to recline the seat. And again, I'll step out so you can see how far back that goes. So again, you don't have to worry about the second row passengers feeling tight. And if I want to let the seat come forward, the same handle here, I just let come down, and you do get the seat 100% flat. Again, if we're going to be putting down a second row seat, we're probably going to be putting down the third row seat, which means we're storing something, okay? I'm going to go ahead and close this door here. Summit's going to give you the 21-inch wheels, which is obviously going to be an upgrade, a lot nicer. My favorite part about this is it does combine the luxury with something that still looks nice on the road, okay? Definitely an eye catcher. From the back here, biggest things you're gonna see. With the redesign, they went ahead and they lifted up the taillights. So you have really high set, really wide LED taillights that actually wrap around the vehicle. So whether I'm behind the car or to the side of the vehicle, I can see your turn signals and I can see you braking, okay? One, for safety, maximize what people can see. Two, it looks good, right? In a Summit, everything is body color, meaning that there's no plastic bumpers, there's no plastic fender panels, as I can show you on the other side. The exhaust is actually running right through the bumper, which when you compound that again with the high set LED taillights, it's a nice clean look. Every light on this car is LED, okay? This outline that I'm tracing right here, this is a cover for your tow hitch. There's a clip here and there's a clip here where I can undo, take this off, and you have a class 4 receiver with a 7 and 4 pin wiring harness. So essentially you're going to be able to tow pretty much what you need to, unless you need to jump up to a gooseneck, which we wouldn't use this vehicle for. So a couple ways to open up the tailgate. There's a traditional button right here, and I can also kick my foot out and have it come up. It never does it when I do it. This is going to be like our blooper reel right here. So to open the tailgate, I'm going to press this button right here. That's going to go ahead and come up to me. So one of the biggest things I want to highlight is if you look, even with your third row seats up, you do still have space in the back to throw whatever you need to throw in there, okay? As far as accessing the spare tire, you're going to lift this here. Right in here is your jack and all the equipment you need. If I take out this piece of plastic here, I'll have access to a screw. I unscrew that, your spare tire is going to come out from the bottom. Reason is, obviously it's a third row vehicle. We want to maximize the amount of cargo you can throw in here, okay? By putting the spare tire under the vehicle, it allows you to really use the most space you can back here. Now when I want to drop the seats, if you look at these buttons here, 4 buttons. Two are gonna control the second row. So second left, second right, third left, third right. All I have to do is press this, press this. I just did my third row. My second row left seat is already down. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my second row right. Press this button here. That's gonna drop down as well. So again, everything goes flat, which means if you wanna take a wider view of that, look at the room that you get by putting everything down. So again, if it is something where we need to move a lot of groceries, maybe we're going to the beach and we wanna throw coolers, beach balls, umbrellas, whatever, you can put down what you need to put down to still fit your occupants and your cargo at the same time, which is super, super, super nice. Now, this is a Summit. Everything's body color. Everything's really nice. Last thing we want to do is take it home and scratch our tailgate on our garage ceiling. I can actually pull this tailgate down and press this button here, right there where it says hold to set. And if I press and hold that button, wait till it beeps. And now my tailgate is set to this height. So whether I do it from inside the vehicle, from the button, from the outside, or from my key fob, it'll always set to this height. And then to adjust it, I can just pull it back up, press the button again. It beeped, so now it's set. To close it, I press this button, and I just let it come down. So from this angle, the first thing that I want you to notice is, one, how defined each pillar in the vehicle is, okay? But also how thin it is. What do I mean by that? If I close the doors, these are all your pillars, right? This is what's gonna give the structure to the vehicle. If you notice, by being defined, by being as thin as they are, you can incorporate more glass. This is a third row vehicle. It's bigger than, if you go from a Grand Cherokee to a Grand Cherokee L or whatever the case is, it's a bigger vehicle. We want to increase our visibility. Just take a look at this glass back here. This is the most glass that you can get on the third row window because, again, if I'm driving a third row vehicle, whether it's backing up, changing lanes, I want to be able to see what's going on around me in a vehicle of this size, okay? If I open this door back up, and again, I just put the seat up. You actually have it. I'll move out of the way here. You have individual charging stations for your first, second, and third row. Second row is going to give you your USB. It's going to give you your Type-C. And you're also going to get an actual power outlet. For example, if we have tablets for our kids or a laptop that we need to charge on the road, we're going to be able to access that, okay? You have 3 individual HVAC systems as well. What that means is your first, second, and third row have their each individual vents and individual controls to be able to make sure that everyone who's in the vehicle is comfortable, okay? Right here, before I close the door, vehicle comes equipped with the sunshade, which means if we do have smaller children, car seats, whatever the case is, one, practically speaking, is going to protect them from the sun. 2, if you have anything in here, if you have children in here, whatever the case is, protects them from someone being able to just poke in and look. If I close the door here, you do get your privacy. When you add the sunshade to the amount of tint that's on the glass, it's something that you don't feel as if you're driving in a fishbowl. All right, makes you feel real nice. I want to highlight this American flag here. These vehicles were actually built in a special manufacturer, in a special factory that was just recently built in Detroit, a $1.8 billion facility, and the first thing they did was start making these. Okay, so they are, 1, American made, and 2, really want to make sure that we show that by showing you these little trinkets here. We call them Easter eggs as far as the Jeep community goes. The motor in this one is a 3.6 6-cylinder, so when you talk about Jeep, you're going to talk about the stylings, and you're going to talk about the motors. Those are 2 things that have always been central to Jeep, as well as our 4-wheel drive system. The 3.6 motor is something that is going to give you the power you need as far as being on the highway, getting around a vehicle, and it's also going to help you in terms of fuel economy, okay? And if I go ahead and close this, I don't know if you can see this camera here. This vehicle is actually equipped with a night vision camera. So when it's nighttime, when it's dark outside, this camera can see up to 100 feet out, anything that's 4 feet or higher. What I mean by that is if we're driving in terms of deer, animals, things crossing on the highway or on the back roads, even in our own driveways. Let's say we're trying to get out and there's a kid's bike or some toys or something, whatever it is, that camera actually picks it up. Again, want to highlight the wider lights, how everything is LED, and again, how it wraps around the front here. One, aesthetically, very pleasing. And then two, safety-wise, the bigger the light is, the brighter things are, the better our visibility. From the side here, you can actually see that the forward, okay? Reasons for that being is, again, being in a third row vehicle, you want to maximize your visibility to make sure you feel as comfortable as possible as you're driving. By slanting the grille forward, it allows us to slope our hood downwards, which is going to give us a really big field of vision as we're driving in our vehicle. And again, it's a Jeep, so you can't forget about the 7-slot grille. Another Jeep feature is always going to be the trapezoidal wheel arches here. So, 7-slot grills, trapezoidal wheel arches, Easter eggs, like we like to call it, in terms of like the American flag on this vehicle. Those are things that when you see, you know it's a Jeep. Now, as we're on the outside of this vehicle and have everything closed, engineering-wise, what they did was they brought the belt line down. What I mean by that is if you come over here, we like to call this the guideline or the belt line, depending who you're talking to. By bringing that belt line down, we brought the center of gravity down, and again, gives you more visibility when you're driving. When they redesigned this vehicle, because it's not just a Grand Cherokee with a third row, it is a complete redesign. They built the engine on top of the axle, and your transmission actually runs through your engine. What that enables you to do is have a lower center of gravity, so even if you are in a bigger vehicle, which you will be, you don't have to deal with the body roll or the roughness that you would typically associate with your drive. So, very first thing we see when we get into this vehicle is going to be our brand new Uconnect 5 with a 10.1-inch display. My favorite thing about this is it'll automatically do a split screen for you between a navigation and another page. In this instance, it has navigation and it has media. Let's say I want to zoom in on media. I can either press the media button here or I can just hit full screen right there. Okay? What I really want to highlight is our navigation. So, with the navigation, they did a complete retool. What I mean by that is this vehicle is going to give you connected services, and in this instance being the Uconnect 5, things like TomTom, things like Apple CarPlay, they're already going to be built into the system. Let's say I want to come right here to the dealership. First thing you're going to notice is this does have a predictive feature. So I'm at 460 Connecticut Boulevard. It gives me all the 460 Connecticut Boulevards or Aves that I could use. In this case, it's right here in East Hartford. Click on that. You have a couple options. I can just hit drive, or if I hit this right here, I can use it as a starting point. I can add to favorites, or I can search near here. So if I'm looking for restaurants, gas stations, hotels near my destination, that's how I would do it. Okay, once I hit drive here, your screen will change to tell you obviously how far away you are, when you'll be there. If I want to get out of the screen, I just hit X and now I go back to a map view. Okay? It is touchscreen, so I can move around. I can zoom out. I can zoom in. And if you notice how fast it moves, there is not a lag, okay? Which obviously when we deal with things like this, we want to avoid a lag. If you can see from where you are there, as I move around the screen, depending how zoomed in I am, it'll show me streets, it'll show me flow of traffic, and it'll show me points of interest. Things like gas stations, things like restaurants, things like hotels are all going to pop up on here, okay? This 3-line bar here, this menu, if I click on this, I can do things like add home, add work, see what recents I might have been to, and see what trips I might have taken. I hit settings here. I can adjust the map view, routing, sounds and alerts. For example, routing, if I click on this, I can do different route types. What I mean by that is if I can click on it, you can choose between the fastest route, the shortest route in terms of how many miles you'll drive, and the most eco-friendly route as well. Again, we want to make sure that you get where you want to be, but you get there in a way that you want to get there. If I get out of here, I can avoid ferries, trains, toll roads, even things like unpaved roads, interstate highways, carpool lanes, and tunnels. So again, make sure that where you want to go, you get there in a way that makes sense for you. Right here where it says vehicle, I can click on vehicle, and I have a couple options in the car itself. What I mean by that is you have your mirror dimmer, you have third row headrest fold, so if the third row seats are up and I want to be able to get a clear field of vision to the back, I can press that button and have them come down. You have a surround camera on this vehicle. So if I click on this here, not only do you have your traditional backup camera, you have a surround view of the vehicle, 360 degrees. That's what the cameras are for on the outside of the vehicle. And you have different views. So behind me, a fisheye view behind me, fisheye view ahead of me, zoomed in view ahead of me, and I can do a bigger screen here where I can zoom in. Again, if I'm using that tow hitch, make sure I get to where I need to be. And you also have the vehicle equipped with the front camera. Everything has guidelines, so whether I'm in the front here, let's say I need to follow these red lines here, I can adjust the wheels to make sure that I'm on path, same as I can when I'm behind me. And if my camera gets dirty from off-roading, now it's clean. That was pretty cool, actually. So my favorite part about the interior, obviously aside from the aesthetics part of it, is how practical it is. Focused on the horizontal layout. What I mean by that is as I'm driving, I just looked at my screen 5 times, not once did I turn my head. If we turn our head, we're not looking at the road, we just put ourselves and others in danger. By having everything pushed back and everything leaning back as well, I don't know if you can see it from here, everything is leaned backwards. So again, I have maximum visibility while staying as safe as possible, okay? Everything I can do on the screen, I can do through buttons and through toggles. What that enables us to do is make sure that if I'm driving, I don't distract myself with the screen because I know what this button does. I know what that button does. I know if I want to turn on my fan, I can raise and lower it from here. Dual climate control, so if I'm hot and you're cold, we can adjust accordingly. You also have your buttons here for your heated seat, heated steering wheel, and your ventilated seats. So your first row gives you heated seat, heated steering wheel, ventilated seats. You can tell when you have perforated seats like this, means that they're air-conditioned seats. Your second row actually gets heated seats as well. When it's under 40 degrees, your heated seat and steering wheel will automatically start, whether you start it from your phone, the key fob, or from inside the vehicle. When it's over 75 degrees, your ventilated seats will automatically kick on. Same way, okay? If we zoom in right in here, we can see again, make sure everything stays charged. You have 2 USB ports, 2 Type-C ports, an auxiliary cable port, and then if I pop this open here, you do have a space for a traditional car charger. But again, everything nowadays is wireless, so right in the middle here, you have a wireless charger for your phones, okay? If we focus on this section here, this toggle is how we're going to go ahead and shift gears, okay? This being a Jeep, you're going to have different drive modes for different terrains. Now, our four-wheel drive system is an automatic four-wheel drive system. What I mean by that is, in our vehicle, let's say my front left tire hits a patch of ice. The system is made to send power to that tire to make sure it doesn't lose traction, so you don't worry about spinning out in the first place. Okay? These different modes here are going to do different things to the drivetrain. For example, if I throw it in rock mode, what's going to happen is four-wheel drive low is going to engage, because in that instance I'm off-roading and I need to get over a boulder. If I put it in snow mode, you're going to start off in second gear versus first gear to make sure you have maximum traction to get you out of those snowbanks. On the side here, this toggle with the 3 lines, you have 5 different ride heights that you can use. Okay? Your lowest height here is going to be entry exit level. That's going to be the lowest the vehicle goes, enable you to get in and out really easy. When you're driving over 15 miles an hour, the vehicle will automatically raise to make sure that you don't catch your bumper on a rock, a twig, whatever it is. Your highest ride height is going to be off-road 2. That's going to give you at least a 2-inch lift. That's enabled for if we are off-roading, getting over those logs, those rocks, whatever the case is. Again, if you're over 15 miles an hour, the vehicle will automatically lower to help you save on gas. This being a Summit, you actually have Summit written out in the seat, which is really nice. Going back to the dashboard here, real wood. All the materials here are soft materials to the touch. And the best part about it is, even if you're in the third row, you still get the nice materials. A lot of the times with third row vehicles, we find that the third row is just a sea of black plastic, and that's what we wanted to avoid. We want to make sure if you're driving or if you're in the third row, you know you're in a luxury vehicle. Okay? So if you do like the features in the Grand Cherokee L, I advise you to come on down, 460 Connecticut Boulevard, Gengras Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Ask for Alejandro.